Muy buenos días a todos. Gracias por estar presente en este webinar. El webinar de hoy se titula La era digital, aceleración digital en la industria, la era de la inteligencia artificial. Nuestro exponente, señor Claudio Makarovsky, licenciado en Ingeniería Química, magíster en Sistemas de Gestión por LATEX, y MBA con por Watson College. Profesor invitado en los MBA de la Fundación Doctoral de la UNP en tecnologías disruptivas para el sector energético y desafíos de la industria y energética. Consejero del Consejo Brasileño de Energía. Muchas gracias, don Claudio, por acompañarnos. Vamos a hacer la introducción para todos.
Thank you, Claudia. Nice to meet all of you. It's an honor to be here. First of all, I would like to thank our professor, Roberto Monteiro Espada, for the invitation. He always challenged me. I'm happy to be here, okay? So I will share my screen. Let me know when you are okay seeing that. To make it easy, I will talk in English, but I ask the artificial intelligence that is embedded in Teams and in PowerPoint to write the subtitles in Spanish. Sorry, this is not my Spanish, okay? My Spanish is worse than this, okay? This is a typical translation. And after, at the end, you can, I will ask the audience to make comments about how precise, how accurate this Spanish was, okay? So let's talk about digital acceleration in the industry. Everybody that is in this audience knows very well Industry 4.0. The Industry 4.0 was invented or launched in Germany in 2011, and just a year after, during the World Economic Forum, the people gave it the name of Fourth Industrial Revolution, okay? We'll talk a little bit about. But the agenda today, we will talk about tools, strategy, and trends. What's going on in our industry, and also the young people that are watching this presentation, how you can be prepared, okay, to survive up to my age, okay, in this industry. Because the challenges is huge, but the tools are making your life much easy. So let's talk about generative AI a little bit. And I started my career in 1976 in one company called Foxborough, today is Schneider. And I studied industrial instrumentation, process control, industrial automation. And now I am at Microsoft, which means 5 years in Microsoft. For all my career, at the end, I am finishing my career in IT environment. And just to provoke these people, I normally tell, we from OT, operation technology, we from process automation, we from manufacturing, we from the shop floor have started digital transformation, and not you IT guys. So this is only a provocation, a joke, okay? But I can share some slides that I will convince you to, okay? So at the end, we will talk about this new tool based on generative AI and in a partnership between Microsoft and OpenAI, and how can help us to make our life at the factory floor, at the shop floor, a little easier, okay? So let's talk a little bit about generative AI. It's a new technology, but if I ask you how old artificial intelligence is, for sure, no one will give the right answer because we have some confusion. But the most famous history about the origin of artificial intelligence goes 70 years ago when Alan Turing, okay, is a mathematician, a physician. He could break in the 20s, pardon me, at the beginning of the last century, he started to build a machine that could make an answer like a human. Just after he became very famous in the War II, because he could break the cryptography machine that was used by the German soldiers, okay, to exchange a message. Just after they broke the crypto of Enigma, that was the name of the machine, accelerated the end of the War II, which means artificial intelligence is in our life for a long, long time, but only now we are realizing how powerful it is, because we are using a new tool to make it more easy, and we call this uh, uh, natural language or large natural language. I will show some examples to you. Okay, so in the last 2 years, we heard a lot about the generative AI, and this became a hype nowadays. Just after Microsoft put $26 billion in a company that was unknown that time called OpenAI. OpenAI still remain as an independent company. The agreement with Microsoft is to use their tools, and below them we have a lot of other tools. One example, we can use a text to make a picture. And very recently, in a world context of the best picture, the winner was not a photographer, was a digital hacker that prepared a new picture using DALI. Okay, so this is just funny example. But what's important behind any use of artificial intelligence? You need to respect the owner of the information. And when you generate anything using Copilot, for example, a tool that has generative AI embedded, all that data belongs only to you. And everything you create is confidential. So if something breach is because you allowed. So you need to reclassify. Or for example, I am using some slides that I took for an internal presentation. So I needed to sign and to reclassify, because who generated originally used artificial intelligence. So it's protected by the owner. Okay, so you don't need to be afraid, okay, because nothing that you generate will be leaked, will be shared to others. Okay, but why this movement is causing so big noise? Normally, the marketeers, when they launch a new product, a new tool, or a new toy, or a new smartphone, they have a measure of the technology adoption. This technology adoption is measured by when the technology have reached 100 million users. We have some example about the mobile, took 16 years, internet 7 years, Facebook 4.5 years, TikTok a couple months, but ChatGPT only 3 months. But look, the generative AI, they reinvent themselves all the time. So the methodology and the tool, the procedures allows you to retune yourself all the time. So just for fun, if you go now and ask to any research tool available in the internet, how long took ChatGPT to reach 100 million people? He recognized and he corrected himself. It was less than 3 months. Okay, it was 2 months and something days. Okay, so when Professor Roberto Monteiro Espada called me and asked me to prepare this presentation, I have no idea what I would talk about. So I asked my co-pilot, that has generative AI embedded, and asked, can you suggest a title for a lecture on the use of generative AI in the industry? So look, I put one prompt and I receive 5 answers. Okay, for sure, sometimes we are not humble and we prefer, okay, to use our natural, small but natural intelligence against the artificial intelligence. So look how many good answers I receive. Revolutionizing industry, the power of generative AI, from concept to creation, generative AI in modern industry. So I know that most of you as a student are using, okay, generative AI to prepare your work, your paperwork, your homework. But we as a professor also, we have a tools, okay, that can check if you use or not artificial intelligence to develop, okay, that application. So I continue asking more, okay? What do you suggest? And look, I made a mistake. I misspell you. Can you read on the top? But he understood that I'm not so smart and sometimes I can do mistakes. So what do you suggest I talk about the use of generative AI at the shop floor, at the factory floor? So he told me most of you have learned when you study Industry 4.0. First, enhance the efficiency and productivity. We'll talk a little bit how much the productivity for a regular worker is increasing after using the Copilot, for example, the generative AI. We have a sample recently done with a mining company in Brazil, and up to 90% of the improvement, okay, in the productivity, which means the same person executing the same task or developing the same paper or the same document have done this in 10% of the original time he used to do without the tool, okay? Quality control. Today, the factor detection, you don't need to have the quality control department anymore, okay? Because this can be done using artificial intelligence. Workforce augmentation, assistance tool. What I'm talking about to the mining company, where the employees from HR department, from capital investment department, from communication department, and also from technology information department, they could feel, okay, the improvement of their capability in 10 times. We took one group of a company, the IT guys, and we gave it the same task, the same challenge, okay? Please develop this application, and we gave the specification. We split the team in two. One using GitHub Copilot, low code with Copilot, and another one just using their knowledge, okay? The team that was using the generative AI tools finished, okay, the task and deliver the application running in less than 50 minutes against 1 hour from the other team. Supply chain management, okay? This is one of the worst bottleneck we have in the industry, when I cannot deliver my stuff to my customer because one of my supplier failed when he promised to deliver some spares or some parts on time, and it did not, okay? So if you go to a lot of research done by huge companies like McKinsey, like Gartner, like KPMG, Capgemini, all of them has something against talking about inventory optimization and supplier resilience management. This is key, okay, for the industry to grow. What else more? Safety improvement. For example, I have been serving the oil and gas industry for more than 40 years. The first thing is safety. We do not start any meeting without safety moment because it's a very dangerous industry, can pollute, can put fire, can explode, can blow up, can kill people. So we need the people that goes to work, come back at home at the end of the day. Innovation and customization. Today is becoming our word totally commoditized. But if you pay attention about one of the definition of Industry 4.0, they tell you can do massive production, but with customization online. Okay, what this means? During a manufacturing process, in despite of the model or the style of this manufacturing, sees a production in series, sees a discrete manufacturing in cells, or your production by product, you can customize because no one project start and end exactly it was designed. You have accommodation in the middle. Okay, I will show one example from BMW. The first one. So I ask again to my friend Generative AI Copilot, could you provide some case studies or examples that I can share to the audience? The first one at BMW. BMW has one factory in Germany. They can produce any kind of models. Pay attention, okay? And BMW has hundreds of different models. And this production is planned during the weekend and based on what they receive from the dealers. So during a week, they receive a lot of orders from the dealers, and the dealers say, "Hey, I want a BMW X4 blue with interior in white, etc., etc." Okay, so during the production planning, when the production starts on Monday, 8 in the morning, nobody knows what is going downloaded to the shop floor, but for sure, the dealer will receive that model of BMW on time. An example, nearby where I live, we have a Toyota factory. They just produce one model called Etios, okay? You could have Etios black, white, silver, but only Etios. You cannot move the model for a Corolla, for example, in the same factory. So today, using of artificial intelligence, we have this flexibility. Siemens, where I used to work until I moved to Microsoft, predictive maintenance. Imagine Siemens produced thousands per year of rotating machine like motors, compressor, turbines. That is spread everywhere. How they can do maintenance of this? Because the customer itself is not an expert in a turbine or in a compressor. He's, for example, is an oil producer, a gas producer. He needs their product going to their customer. So all the equipment must be running perfectly. And also, some of these products are in a FPSO. We will talk about what means a FPSO. That here in Brazil, they are 300 kilometers far from the coast, okay, in the middle of ocean, in a ultra deep water, producing oil and gas. Can you imagine how I can fix one compressor, sending people by helicopter 2-3 hours by helicopter until land in the platform, and oops, one part is missing. Okay, so this is not allowed. Is not acceptable. We have others regarding about GE and Boeing that you can read after. But normally I make a challenge to the audience. Okay, and here I suggest you read that two books that are on the corner in the top. First, the natural intelligence never will be bypassed by artificial intelligence, because we humans that generated the artificial using natural intelligence. So this is a joke, but it's true, okay? But also, I suggest you read the book Grow Mindset, okay? The Grow Mindset tells that in despite of your age, how old you are, okay, you needed to learn every day, every time that you can. And one example, using generative AI, for example, I go to Bing and make a question. How much is 300 Celsius degree in Kelvin? This audience knows very well, okay? If I pick up Celsius plus 273, 273 plus that 15, I have Kelvin. And Kelvin is absolute temperature. Celsius is a relative temperature. We compare with the temperature of ice melting and water boiling, okay? But if I do this question, okay, in the spite of the tools, they give me an answer. 300 Celsius negative is equivalent to 26.85 Kelvin negative. But this is not true, because nothing below zero Kelvin exists. The molecules do not move anymore. So this is a good answer in terms of mathematics, but it's a big lie when you talk about the reality, okay? So how we avoid what we call hallucination, okay? So we need to improve our prompt. So one challenge for all of you is study how to do prompting engineering. It's key, because now we have a new version where these tools are generating agents. So you don't need, okay, to do all the prompting, but if you have the prompting very well tested before, you just give an order, okay? For example, if today I need to prepare a presentation talking about a subject I have no idea, I just can ask, please generate a PowerPoint of 10 slides talking about this idea. And I received this ready. I don't need it to move from Word to text or to PowerPoint, because this agent is not now in the new generation. But if you want to avoid the hallucination, just improve your question. If I repeat the same question to the same agent, Knowing that I'm a chemical engineer, please tell me about how much is minus 300 Celsius. The answer is here. He explained that mathematically it's possible, but this negative Kelvin value is nothing because in terms of thermodynamics, the zero, absolute zero, is 0 Kelvin. So do not exist. That's the difference between artificial intelligence and natural intelligence when you needed to judge your answer. Reason why the tool that we launch using generative AI is a co-pilot and not pilot, okay? So in terms of strategy, when I made a joke about we from process automation, okay, has made the digital transformation and not IT, okay? Look, when I started my career in the 70s, this was a control room. Look, I have a lot of recorders, was a kind of a big watch, mechanical. In front you have a kind of image, okay, or a dummy, what the process equipment was in the field, in the shop floor. And I made some jokes because today we have to register everything that happened in an industry, in any kind of factory. We call the tool called Plant Information Management System, the PIMS, that registers everything. To start and stop motors, we have the motor control center. And today, the new name of this are digital twins. When you replicate digitally everything you have in the shop floor. This is from the 80s and 90s or 2000 of last century, when you have more information in front of the same operator. At this point, any decision was made by this gentleman based on information he was reading in the panel. If he did any mistake, he can blow up one boiler, for example, because all the decision was taken from his mind. No tools to take decisions exist in that time. So they need to analyze the information, and for fun, the information was in parallel, distributed in the panel, and the decision was in series. So the guy needed to know what to push, what to switch, what to open, what to close, okay? Wow. In 1968, most of you were not born. The first logic moved from relay to digital was invented, the PLC. This made a revolution, a disruption, okay? Two PLCs was launched almost at the same time. Modicum, that today belongs to Schneider, and the Allen Bradley, that belongs to Rockwell Automation, okay? So the programmable logic controller was at the beginning invented to test some cables for cars, okay? Not for logic to execute emergency shutdowns or a sequence of events. But that was the origin. And just after, okay, the first mini computer, we had a mainframe mini computer, was used in process control. And in this case, was for a mining industry in Brazil, that was called Companhia Vale do Rio Doce, in a plant of pelletizing to make pellets to use in blast furnace to produce iron and steel. So the main machine interface was this, a kind of a typewriter. For sure, nobody in the audience has an idea what I'm talking about. But in 1986, I was the first time traveling to US, okay, to be trained in this equipment, okay, exactly to deploy in Vale do Rio Doce plant. At the same time, for the first time, we launched, we launched the MCC, the Motor Control Center, that make it easy just to start and stop motor of a high power. And here, you can believe or not, but I was young, okay? So this was in 1990, and this equipment is a Honeywell TDC 3000 DCS. And just for joke, I had already friendship with our Professor Espada for more than 10 years. So I was young and I met him, he was young too. But just after, my former boss, Mr. Bill Gates, he launched one tool called OPC, Order for Process Control. At the beginning, we understood that this was a tool that could integrate everything to make any kind of computer system to communicate in despite of the origin, the supplier, the language. But behind this, the trick from Mr. Bill Gates, again, was to make it easy to use one Excel spreadsheet in an automatic way. I remember when the first time in 2000, I opened one spreadsheet in a main machine interface of a DCS, and in a cell, I could populate information coming from a sensor that was installed in the middle of the field, send them information from one temperature with a refresh of 1 second. Was a revolution, okay? But at the end of last century, we have the millennium bug. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but this caused a big moment in the world because the people had no idea what would happen when the clock would move from December 31st, 1999 to 1st of January of 2000, because this clock could be reset, okay? And after this, regular hardware that was used in IT environment, in the office environment, in the administrative environment, have reached the control room, the center of operations. And here the first discussion, who handles these cables? Because the responsibility is IT. If it's connected to this cable, your notebook is out of the network, okay? You are alone. But if one of these cables disconnect a main machine interface of an operator that is operating a CNC, for example, or is operating a offshore platform, the operator can be blind and you have no idea what's going remotely, okay? So I am here again, also young, still young, okay, when we have another revolution. Most of the sensors that were installed in shop floor, they were connected by a network. So the network went out from the office, a protected environment, and went to the shop floor for the factory floor. And at this moment, just after, they receives an IP address, like any device connected to the internet, and an antenna. So the cable was gone. They became wireless. And for the first time also, we introduced the firewall and the militarized zones to avoid what? To avoid invasion. Somebody from external world can enter in my protected world. And we launched the ISA 99, that was a standard, international standard, to give an idea how to protect different layers and different feature and mission of this architecture, okay? So this picture is one of the most updated and new control room installed in Brazil. The startup was exactly 1 year ago and belongs to Braskem, a petrochemical company. And this installation in the south of Brazil, in Rio Grande do Sul, in Canoas, it used to be a petrochemical company called Copesul. Copesul originally used one analog panel. I was a trainee at that time when I made the commissioning of that panel, and he was 109 meters long. Okay, can you imagine one square? Okay, and look, now is modified by some dashboard that you can have it in your smartphone, which means that you can operate this plant, okay, with few people and remotely. And about the trends, one of the largest research company called Gartner, normally they give the trends and the people follow because they also classify the technologies in 4 quadrants, okay? They call magic quadrants. So the dream of every technology is to be in the top 4 quadrants from Gartner, because this tells to the world that we are good and you can use it without any risk, okay? And the first thing that Gartner told to the community in 2024, pay attention about AI and also about the risk of security. in English, security and safety has two different meanings, okay? But for Latin language, security and safety is the same. But why they are telling this? Because the sensors became so cheap that Mr. Malcolm Frank told a couple years ago, put sensor in everything. You don't have no excuses to not measure a variable, to not. And if you go inside your home, you can find a lot of sensors. For example, your refrigerator, for sure your smartphone a lot. But if you use a smartwatch, you can measure your heart beatment. You can measure how much sugar you have in your blood, etc. So the sensors are so cheap, and the technology to connect all this technology becomes so valuable and so safe that is not a nonsense to never disconnect it. Okay.
Malcolm Frank, What to Do When Machines Do Everything, 5 Ways Your Business Can Thrive in an Economy of Bots, AI, and Data. In the era of rapid technological advancements, the fear of losing jobs to automation continues to plague various industries. What to Do When Machines Do Everything by Malcolm Frank provides insights on how businesses can thrive in this fast-paced, data-driven economy. The book explores the history of automation, how jobs have changed due to technology, and the possible impact of automation on the workforce in the future. Furthermore, it delves into the power of utilizing big data and systems of intelligence to better understand consumer behavior and gain a competitive advantage in the market. Get ready to learn about smart product transformation, digital business models, and the challenge of keeping up with the expectations of the modern consumer.
Okay, so buy the book, read the book, and please make your comments, but be prepared. Okay, don't be afraid to lose your job, because if you are prepared, nobody will move you from the position where you are. Okay, so regarding the sensor itself, 20 years ago, one sensor could give you one process value, one engineering unit, and one timestamp, or a status, run, stop, on, off. Today, all the sensors, they have a lot of diagnosis embedded that can help you to do more than you can imagine. But we talk a little bit about Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution. And if you pay attention about the picture on the top, the main difference between the third and the fourth revolution is collaboration and connection. But just we launched Industry 4.0. Japan launched the Society 5.0, and today we have an Industry 5.0, okay, that is talking about everything that the fourth revolution brought, plus artificial intelligence. In Japan, Society 5.0 put the following statement: it's nonsense I have all this technology, but it could not make the human person better in his life. Which means we needed to have all this technology to make our life, okay, better, and not to put us to work more. In parallel, Made in China 2025, and 2025 is 2 months from now, they develop a huge amount of technology to use internally. Okay, so now in Brazil, a year ago, arrived the first BYD, Build Your Dreams, Chinese electrical car that is top of the top in terms of technology. This was developed not for the internal market only, but really to spread electrical car worldwide. For sure, the adoption is another problem, okay? And one example, originally when we talked, sorry, I have this picture only in Portuguese. What is the benefits of the Industry 4.0? First, to reduce cost, mainly of maintenance, up to 40%, to reduce energy consumption, up to 20%, and efficiency in your job. And I will show some examples how you can improve this up to 90%. So most of people that come from process automation or from manufacturing or from TI, IT, knows this pyramid, okay? So this pyramid belongs to ISA, International Society of Automation, and belongs to a standard called ISA S5.1, okay? So they split, okay, the hierarchy of the system from the shop floor, from the factory floor, up to the ERP, that it do all the management of your enterprise. Normally, the most famous ERP we know are SAP, made in Germany, okay? But you have other acronyms, but it doesn't matter. The first two layers belong to process automation, to OT guys. The three above layers, top layers, belong to IT. But this is not true anymore because this interface is disappearing. The integration of the shop floor to the ERP can be made automatically. And we are rewriting this standard. We are rewriting this definition because now we have what we are calling, okay, the automation based and the Industry 5.0, we are calling the cyber physical equipment. So the mix, the convergence, the merge of IT and OT is as underway. Some companies have put this officially. In Brazil, in São Paulo, a company called Comgás that distributes natural gas in São Paulo area. They are now merging IT and OT together. Okay. Also, Vale, the mining company, have done this before. Companhia Siderúrgica Nacional, a iron and steel company, also doing the same. This allows that you bring data directly from the field, from the shop floor, up to the cloud, okay, to use it in advanced analytics, putting all this data to work. For sure, we have the connectivity. All this is very familiar to you: LoRa, Bluetooth, wireless HART, ISA 100, and very soon we will have in the market the 5.5G. That is a new speed, a new technology in terms of connectivity, is under development. Was launched by Huawei in Turkey last week. So if we have all this connected, when you see, for example, this architecture is for one mining industry. You don't have a continuous process 100% and discrete manufacturing 100%. Most of our processes today are hybrid, okay? And this is a typical architecture that I used to sell for 40 years when I'm in process automation, where you have a lot of equipment with their diagnostics and standalone. So the first discussion we have today to have an integrated control system versus a cyber physical system is to avoid data silos. You need to have all the data connected and in just one database. So today it's possible to have sensors sending data to a cloud, but also you need to democratize. So you needed to bring data from the top management to the shop floor. For example, if I want to know what I am producing, the cost in real time, I should have access to this data. So this is the new reality, the cyber physical system, or phygital, how some people are talking. And this could be considered impossible a couple years ago, 10 years ago, but now in Hanover Mess in 2022, we have the first time PLC as a service, or part of my logic that is not dangerous, okay, that is not critical, can be moved to the cloud. I don't need to have it in a hardware on-prem, okay? To allow that, we have some new technologies appearing, connecting the field devices to everywhere. One example that are being promoted by big players like ABB, Emerson, Siemens, is the Ethernet APL. That can you bring everything you have, not only the variable process variable, the OT, etc., but all diagnostics directly to the cloud. Also, another initiative, OPC UA, and this is really unique because bring all the data for one equipment at once. Is very similar when you buy a new printer and you connect to your notebook and in few seconds, they recognize the drive, and you have a full operation of your printer. The same with a compressor, the same with a turbine. This will be allowed by OPC UA. And also, the OPC is also part of the open group, and they have one new standard. And this standard was recently tested in US with a Japanese company called Yokogawa. They produce a control system, and an oil company. When they could transfer the control, the strategy, or the logic without any interference for which part of the hardware was coming and who was the supplier.
When we look at what the automation world had become and what we wanted it to be, we realized it was a step change needed. It wasn't incremental, it was a big step. It just demands disruption, and you either get on the disruption bandwagon or it leaves you behind. The test bed is a facility that was set up specific to getting ExxonMobil to a field trial readiness. The field trials where we will actually upgrade a existing facility's automation system to open process automation architecture.
We developed the interface software, including the abstraction layer for network accesses, so that the application can run on different hardware from different suppliers. It means end user can deploy the application anywhere they want. This will also realize the interoperability and interchangeability and also scalability as well.
OPA is very important for the industry because we've hit a point where the stagnation of technology, the lack of innovation in the systems, the lack of ability to pursue ideas that we come up with, traditional proprietary automation systems, limit us. We realized not having an open standards-based system was the impediment.
Our goal is to create from different suppliers' parts of hardware and software one system, and can be maintained and can be used over a lifetime of evolution and partial migrations and upgrading different pieces without having to take the whole system down and upgrade it. This is a big challenge. It's something that's not been done like this before, and that's really what Yokogawa means by co-innovating tomorrow.
E agora, nós sabemos então que a inteligência artificial precisa. Oh, sorry. Now we know that the artificial intelligence do not run without data. And in our case, okay, we from process automation, from manufacturing, that we deal with Industry 4.0, we need to have data from the shop floor in a data lake that I can use it. So let's see some example and how we can make it more easily. Is because now we are using the natural language model. So you ask in your language, you don't need to be an expert, and the machine will answer you, okay? One example happened recently with Petrobras, okay? Petrobras is a national oil company in Brazil, the largest industrial company also in Brazil. When they put, okay, one ChatGPT, okay, using generative AI for 100,000 employees. So nobody needs to call anybody to ask any question about your daily basis, including administrative questions. For example, if my health exam is okay, if my certification is okay, if I need to have to get out on vacation, all this kind of question is not answered by human anymore. Okay, this is answered by ChatGPT using artificial intelligence. Okay, and you can have your own. Yes, you can personalize your Copilot. You're using Copilot Studio, for example. Okay, and let's just see some example of natural language application. Can you imagine that you just decide to open a flower store, okay? So you want to sell flowers, not work anymore in what we are doing. And you need to create one application, an app that allow you to manage your sales. You need to know the name of your customer, the date where they buy, the address to be delivered, okay? And which kind of product he order you. And you need to manage all this. Pay attention how you can do it without any help from an IT guy. Okay, so now you can be a app producer without knowing nothing in terms of programming, any language, okay? What is the other challenge? This is really a problem. Cyber attack, okay? I think most of you have heard about the Stuxnet, the first virus or attack, cyber attack in a PLC. This happened in 2010. And after many analyses, we have books talking about, we have a movie, a video talking about this. They discovered that it was not an external invasion through internet, because this factory in Iran, if I'm not wrong, okay, that process uranium was attacked, but not external, because that factory was not connected to internet. Okay, so you need to pay attention about this. And we have some recent attacks. One example that was funny, but not so funny because it was really hard, was with Toyota. Toyota in Japan had all entrance locked because one hacker, okay, launched a ransomware and locked all the doors. Nobody could enter in any factory, any office, any building until they pay, okay, the money the hacker was asking. The same happened in the United States. The same hacker attacked Colonial Pipeline that distribute fuel, gasoline, ethanol, blah, 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 on the East Coast. Most of the gas station was out, okay, with no fuel, okay? And today is possible to do it, okay, with using Copilot, and you can protect yourself and protect your system and stop one attack in less than seconds. Just one information. Microsoft nowadays suffers 7,000 attacks per second. A year ago was 4,000 attacks per second. So we need to protect ourselves and our customer. But imagine now that you are new in the game, you just entered in a new company, and you needed to survive, okay? Your interview were marvelous. You know that you know everything, but okay, is your first job. How we can use the Copilot, okay, in a design phase? I pick up one example that I used to work for 2-3 decades, okay? A floating production storage and offload unit. One of these platforms, Petrobras has more than 80 of these running in Brazil. Most of them are far away from the coast, is in the ocean at 200-300 kilometers, okay? And what we have on the top side? We have almost 20 different modules that process the crude, the oil, but the oil can mix it with water, with sand, with gas, and must be separated to be monetized. One of these modules do that separation. Is the module P5 is the separation module. In some tanks, they pick up all the crude as is and do the separation of gas, sand, oil, and this in 2 or 3 phases. And the gas normally goes to a compressor or will be re-injected in the reservoir or exported, okay, to shore, okay? How can I use this in my favor, okay? How to use this technology? So I will stop here and I will try one demo. One example is I received some PNID, a process and flow diagram, piping and flow diagram. So this flow chart tells me everything are installed in that module, okay? So you have the first vessel, first separator, the second separator. You have how to move it. If I go to the next drawing, I have the list of the instruments. Here, more detail about my vessel and the second vessel. And at the end, the compressor that will send this gas to shore. And if some of you knows the ISA 5.1, this is like a beautiful book. You can read everything. But if you are not, okay, how can I deal with this? So we can use artificial intelligence, generative AI copilot to do it. First thing I need to do, where is my file? My file is at my OneDrive, it must be on the cloud. I will pick up, I will share the link, copy link, okay? So it's the PDF with my, and also I go to Bing. Let me open a new. And when I open my Bing, I see this symbol, the same that I have here, okay? Is the Copilot, and it's free, okay? So when I open Copilot, he immediately asks me if I want to connect it to the web or to the work, okay? So if I choose web, I open my research to everywhere. Everything that are public in the web will be searched. But if I only use my computer and my OneDrive, I put work. So here I do paste, okay, of my link. Okay, look, the same name of, and I needed to write some prompt. I can write in any language, okay? So let me change my keyboard to Portuguese. But I will put, please list the valves. Oops. Please list the valves. Look, he read all the PNID and put the list of the valves. Easy, no? Wow. Okay, so after that, everyone can become an expert. If I need help from a more senior guy, what I ask him to do, to write, okay, the prompt for me. So these are some examples in Portuguese, but you can write it in Spanish, in Chinese, etc. The system will recognize and make the demo for you, the analysis for you, okay? Let's continue a little bit. We are near to the end, okay, just in time. And at the shop floor, how can I use it, okay? Here was launched during CERAWeek. Can you imagine one technician that a lady, maybe she never heard or saw before one hardware in front of her, and she has a trouble. Okay, we have an alarm on the left. Okay, and what she can do? Just ask a co-pilot to help her. Okay, and you have one guy that can be 1,000 kilometers away, supporting her remotely, telling what to do. Another example, we developed here in Brazil with a partner. Let's to see.
Olhando para motor Zemac 7 HP.
Copilot,
Em que posso ajudar?
me mostre a análise de temperatura do motor. Copilot,
Em que posso ajudar?
como eu faço para ligar o meu motor?
Verifique o nível de combustível. Verifique o nível de óleo. Coloque a chave. Ponha no modo de afogamento. Gire a chave.
Eu tive um problema, não está ligando o motor. Espera aí, vou ligar para o especialista. Ô Felipe, como é que você tá, cara? Tudo bem? Desculpa te perturbar aí.
Ô Vasquez, tudo certinho por aqui? Por aí, como é que estão as coisas?
Cara, tamo bem, eu só tô com um probleminha, cara. Tô ligando aqui o motor, né? E ele não tá ligando, cara, ó. Consegue me dar um apoio, cara? Desculpa te perturbar, eu sei que deve ser básico isso aí, mas não tô conseguindo ligar o motor.
Verifica se a chave faz algum ruído, uma vez que você rotaciona ela.
Cara, nada, ó. Tô girando ela e absolutamente nada faz.
Ele está conectado na bateria? Pode ser isso.
Ah, caramba. Ele tá sem bateria, cara. Desculpa, meu.
Ah, beleza.
Desculpa te perturbar nisso daí. Tão básico, né?
Imagina, é bem comum isso. Acontece mais do que a gente pensa.
Né, cara, pô. Foi falha minha, cara. Esqueci de colocar a bateria. Cara,
Imagina,
obrigado, viu?
Tô à
abraço,
disposição
cara.
aí, Alexandre.
Tchau, tchau. Então agora é só colocar a bateria.
This is work.
What's up, mate?
We're giving eyes and ears to AI. So the world becomes your prompt and your interface. This is work. Working. These are thoughts happening.
Hey, Copilot.
Plans populating.
Copilot, when was this last replaced?
Information gathering. Instructions guiding. Schematics aligning. People connecting. Problem solving.
Copilot?
Hey, Copilot. Copilot.
This is confidence growing. Eyes widening. These are questions.
I just finished. Copilot, what's next?
Rotate the engine block 90 degrees.
Questions the way you ask them.
Please get me the detailed view of the optical cable layout.
Never too many questions.
All right. Let's highlight the relay switches.
Go ahead. Keep asking.
It's in position. What's next?
Keep learning.
The hydraulic filter was changed 6 months ago.
Okay, can you pull up a service record?
Copilot, what's the tolerance of this locking ring? Here is a copy of the last service record. The tolerance is 9,000ths of an inch. Remind me where this fits into the assembly. Step 4, align the spindle. The locking ring is highlighted.
This is work getting smarter. This is work working better. This is work working. This is work making sense of the world around you.
Copilot, let Ruth know that I'm finished and close out the work order.
This is AI for the front line.
Então é isso. That's it, my friends. The true power of technology is what we choose to do with it. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm open for questions if you have time, but I think we have reached in 1 hour as a promise and planned. Thanks a lot, and again, it was a pleasure to be here.
Cláudia, você está conectada?
Sí.
Okay. Então, temos
Muchas
perguntas?
gracias. Sí, don Roberto, primero agradecer a don Claudio por esta excelente presentación, muy interesante, y vamos a recibir las preguntas. A quienes participaron, por favor, hacer sus preguntas en el preguntas y respuestas.
Senhor Merino, tem perguntas?
Não, professor. Uma pessoa está perguntando se pode ser verbalmente.
Penso que sim.
Go ahead.
Es importante que las preguntas queden registradas y que luego de este webinar se hace envío de la presentación y las preguntas son respuestas para que todos puedan tener registro.
Então, temos aí o Joaquim primeiro e depois o Alejandra. Por favor, Joaquim, faça a pergunta.
Voy a hacer en español.
Senhor Joaquim, é só, por favor, abrir o microfone e fazer... Sim.
Súper. Bueno, Claudio, excelente presentación. Bueno, mi nombre es Joaquín, de parte de SMC Corporation, una de las empresas líderes a nivel mundial en lo que es automatización, neumática, y hoy en día estamos muy fuertes con lo que es Industria 4.0 y sobre todo eficiencia energética. Mi pregunta es, todo esto de motores de inteligencia artificial y generadores de información, ¿están de alguna manera relacionados con el cumplimiento de los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible?
Perdón, ¿podría repetir el final, por favor?
Sí. La pregunta es si esta generación de información a través de inteligencia artificial, estos motores de búsqueda inteligentes que hay hoy en día, ¿tienen alguna relación o tienen algún foco con lo que es el cumplimiento de los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible?
Okay. Very interesting question. Okay. This is another presentation. We can take 3 hours, 4 hours talking about, okay? But they did not, for sure. Today, the OPC group is launching a new technology called OSDU for carbon sequestration, okay? So it's the only one that is specific for the 17 initiatives, okay, for the planet, okay? But we can talk in another opportunity, or I can send the information to you, okay, that you can read by yourself, or please, Claudia, you can share my data and my WhatsApp. I will put you on the chat so you can reach me directly. Okay, I will write in the chat.
Sí. Perfecto. Tenemos otra pregunta, dice, soy técnico en mantenimiento industrial en Argentina. La pregunta es, ¿cómo incorporar estas nuevas tecnologías junto con la automatización en economías emergentes como Argentina.
I didn't understand well, Claudia. Repeat again, please. Your sound is going up and down. Okay, I can read it. Okay. The economias emergentes. Brazil is one example. Okay, we are not in the top. The industry in Brazil almost stopped for the last 15 years. Okay, we lost most of our production to China, to Korea, to other countries. And for sure, we are trying to recover ourselves. We have a new program from the government, and the professor Roberto Espada can tell you more. Okay, the initiatives from the Federation of Industry in São Paulo, the Confederation of National Industry in Brasilia, and also one movement called MEI, Mobilização Empresarial de Inovação, where they are trying to prepare the reskill all the population until 2027. One example is myself, okay? I am almost 70 years old and still working. Why? Because we are not attracting new people to the industry what I serve, okay? And for coincidence, Professor Espada is also leading an initiative of professors here in Brazil that will be submitted for the ambassador of World Skills America, the astronaut Marcos Pontes. Now he is a congressman, he's a senator, to really move the professional training education in Brazil. This can be very easily copy and pasted to any other country, okay? So, and all this technology, you have access, okay? Nothing from this technology is forbidden or is hidden or is not allowed of access. So in any country, okay, just go to the Bing, go to the Google, go to the AWS, go to the other technologies, they are available. And you have a training for free in all language, in Spanish, in Mandarin, in Portuguese, in English. Just go ahead. If you need some help, please let me know. You have my email and my WhatsApp. You can reach me.
Claudio, I think by this question and by your answers, you'd like to make a suggestion. We can, in the next webinar that we will develop in February 2025, I think we can organize one presentation about how we can solve this problem for all countries in America. I know that we have no magic solution, but by vocational training process, we can change our country, we can change the social and economic situation for all people in America, and we can reproduce the same process, look like Korea, Japan after the Second War, and the others. Thank you for this question. Thank you, Claudio, for your answers. Please, Claudio, you can continue.
Okay, thanks for your comment, Professor Espada. That's it. If you have a time, all of people that are writing questions for me, please buy the book Grow Mindset. Read that book, okay? So that is important. Do not stop for the first challenge, because if you have stopped in the first challenge, nobody here would be born, okay? Because you need to compete with a lot of sames like you, okay, to become a baby, okay? So you are a winner. Please don't stop, okay? And no excuse, okay? No excuse. In despite for I don't want to touch political problems. Bypass this. Go by yourself and try to study, research, going deep, And always, always ask for help. I don't know everything, but every time people put me a challenge, like Professor Espada just put one for me, for sure, I will deep dive, I will study, I will search, I will research, and for sure, I will ask for a lot of people that knows more than me, and I will deliver an answer in February, okay? So that's the trick. Do not stop in the first barrier. Forget Mr. Milei, Mr. Lula, Mr. Trump. Think in yourself, okay? Think about yourself. People asked me 30 years ago, automation will displace jobs? Yes, if you do not learn automation, you'll be displaced. I started working in mechanical instrumentation. I moved to digital, I moved to wireless, I moved to technology, I moved to cloud. But if I stop in the first challenge, I was in 70s, okay? So you needed to really think about that. Nothing is impossible, nothing. And very soon, until to decide when you die, it will be your decision. If you wanted to survive for 200 years, it will be your decision, okay? So that's the message. Do not stop at the first barrier. Go ahead. We have one hand raised. Alejandro.
Tenemos una mano levantada de Alejandro Sati. Alejandro, por favor.
Gracias. Bueno, un placer, mucho gusto, señor Claudio, de parte de la Agencia Nacional de Empleo en Costa Rica. Un placer. Mi consulta es la siguiente. Sabemos que, bueno, efectivamente, el tema de la inteligencia artificial ya vino para quedarse. Prácticamente estamos en una revolución 5.0. En cuestión de menos de 2 años, 3 años, ya podría decirse que estamos prácticamente en una nueva revolución. Mi pregunta específica es, ¿cómo confiar o validar que la calidad de los datos que nos está generando estas inteligencias artificiales se puedan tomar como verdaderas, dado que los motores de inteligencia, pues lo que están haciendo es alimentarse de una serie de diferentes medios que realmente en algunos casos no sabemos si son 100% confiables o en algunos casos son de muy poca confiabilidad? Entonces, ¿cómo puedo saber yo que la información que me está dando realmente es 99% real o en su defecto efectivamente puede ser como una herramienta de apoyo para yo trabajar y poder tomar decisiones, pero no confiar al 100% porque igual puede haber un margen de error?
Good question. The answer is why. That's the reason we call the tool co-pilot and not pilot. Okay, so the final decision must be yours. And how you bypass if you have any problem regarding the source of the information? Ask another tool of research and ask the same question. If you see something that is not so trustable, go and ask again. Okay, so you have different tools. You have Safari, you have Chrome, you have Bing. Ask again and see the answer, and never trust 100%. When I generate all answers in my Copilot, at the end, you have a statement. The answer must be imprecise, inaccurate. Okay, and also everybody that are producing artificial intelligence products, they have an agreement about to do it with ethics. Okay, so if you want, we can discuss, okay, how we treat the ethics in producing this kind of tools. For example, image recognition. At the beginning, no artificial intelligence tool could recognize a black people. This is a bias. The Asians suffer a lot. Today, China is #1 in image recognition, face recognition. And you can see some people using a mask, translucent, okay, just to avoid to be recognized by camera on the street. Okay, so you need to respect the individuality, the data is yours, and etc. And never accept one answer that can be one size fits all. You are unique. Okay, so this is a good discussion, the ethics in using in the AI. And some countries, and Brazil itself, is launching some regulations, okay, some law, okay, to control the generate. This is not good in my point of view, but we need to have some regulation, okay, that tells you what you can do, what you cannot do, okay. That's it. I hope I have answered your question, or you have my email, send me a message, okay. I will answer in more details with a big pleasure. Thank you for your question.
Perfecto. La siguiente pregunta de Mauricio Campos de Costa Rica. El poder de la tecnología es lo que hacemos con ella. ¿Qué nos espera en un futuro cercano con el uso de la inteligencia artificial generativa, tanto a nivel industrial como a nivel educativo?
Okay, as I mentioned, we are in another phase already. We have the agents, okay? So what is the purpose? To make your life easy. You don't need to do expensive report anymore. You don't need to do summary of meetings, minutes of meetings. When you finish your meeting at Teams, you have the resume, the summary done. If you enter in a meeting a little late, the tools summarize to you what happened. When I open my emails on Monday morning, I just ask any message that I need to respond now, for sure, from my boss, I answer all, okay? But I have more than 2,000 answers, message that I never open. So the tools are there. What is the message behind this? Learn how to use it. If you don't learn how to use it, you'll be displaced by it, like happened and when the people that was using old stuff, okay, like typewriter. My father was famous because he took a training for typewriting. Today, everybody is a typewriter. Everybody can do it, okay? So it's a momentum that you cannot lose. Just surf the wave. It's not a hype. It's here to stay, okay? And also, somebody asked me about the new information about how to learn more, okay? We have thousands of channels to teach you about how to use this technology. If you talk to my competitors, Google, AWS, Oracle, IBM, all of them that has training section for free. I will share with you, okay, I will send it to Professor Espada or to Claudia, some links, and we'll have 100 of trainings. Let me see if when you were talking, I could find this. I have this link, and I will share in the chat, so everybody can download it. It's free, completely free, and in all language. Okay, language is not a barrier for this. Okay.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias a don Claudio Makowski por esta interesante presentación. Agradecemos a todos quienes participaron y todas las preguntas que sigan apareciendo como inquietudes serán respondidas vía correo como en otros webinars. Gracias a todos.
Ok, gracias por todo.
Luego.
Gracias, don Claudio.
A pleasure, as always.